Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about questions that I get asked very commonly, either from clients, other real estate agents, other aspiring real estate agents, or even just general friends and family about how I do over 100 deals a year and manage a healthy work-life balance. So if you don't know, I'm Sean. I'm an associate broker. Been in real estate full-time since 2018. I do list and sell over 100 homes a year. And I've been doing that since about 2020. So this is my fourth year, going into my fifth year next year, from the Detroit, Michigan market. So Metro Detroit, all surrounding counties. So the most important thing for me, and I feel like I've always sort of felt this way in other business avenues and careers that I was involved in, is taking care of yourself. You take care of yourself first, and on all levels, right? Mentally, spiritually, physically. Do you go to the gym? Do you exercise? Do you eat right? Do you get good sleep? Do you take care of yourself? These are all things that it's sort of like on a micro level you do on a daily basis, but affects everything, right? In the whole grand scheme of things, this is huge. So I don't go like right into depth telling people that immediately, but I'll ask them. And, for example, if someone says that, they're looking to get into real estate full time and they're very serious and they're motivated to get in. And, Sean, what should I do? What's the first step? Right. So then, I'm going to question them first and figure out like, what is their background? Where do they live? What do they do? What's their experience? And then from there, I can help better tell them and guide them in the right direction. Nice. Back to the original question of how I'm able to sell over 100 homes a year and maintain a good work-life balance. So besides taking care of yourself, it's also very important you have the right processes and the right systems in place, as well as establishing yourself with the right team. Make sure your family's there to support you if you can, or if you have good friends or good people in your corner. This is critical to take care of that. So for example, when I have, many active listings, many active pending deals, I spend a good amount of time prioritizing and establishing my day. And so you might think, well, Sean, aren't you losing time and not able to service clients? And the answer is yes, but when you organize yourself up front like that, immediately you end up having more time later in the day and able to take care of everybody that you need to take care of. And I always follow up with telling everybody it's a lot of hard work and it takes time. It's quite simple. There's no such thing as an overnight success, right? You can be aggressive and work very hard, but you can only run and sprint for so long, right? You have to find a balance, you have to maintain. So this is actually very important too. You need to make sure you're at a point where you know where you're going, or you know how far, how long you can sprint, take proper breaks, and then continue on. So for me, for example, I know, when you start to feel a little burned out or you start to feel like you're not servicing as high of a level as you can, you got to take a step back and figure that out. So in conclusion, I take care of myself, I prioritize my clients, and lastly, I always make sure I listen very carefully to my clients' needs and work my absolute best to take care of and do what they ask me to do, and maybe not necessarily what I think is right, but what they need and what their goals are. Another common question I get is, Sean, what keeps you motivated and what drives you every single day? Because there's a lot of days that I don't feel like doing anything. So how do you overcome that, right? So I have those days too, of course. Everybody does. It's natural. And the number one thing to remember is why you're doing it in the first place. Why did you start? What is the reason that you set that goal, right? So remembering this whenever you feel that way, or really it's a big mental thing. So you wake up one morning and you really just don't feel like doing anything for whatever reason. It could just be for no reason. It could be for something that happened the day before or previously that week or whatnot. Those are the best days to dig deep and remember why you're doing it. And also, this is something that takes practice. You got to build it up just like a muscle. Every day that you don't feel like doing it, or every day you don't feel like working, or you don't feel like being productive, well, when you overcome that and you end up doing things and being productive, you feel a lot better and you build that muscle and it makes it easier the next time. For example, who's ever felt lazy, didn't feel like going to the gym, but as soon as you get there and you start moving, you're okay. You feel good, and after you feel great, right? Same concept. You just got to get there, get started. You don't feel like it, push yourself to get there, right? Build that discipline, because the motivation wears off. You have to build that discipline. It's a muscle. Then once you are there, once you're working, once you're starting, you'll end up, your body, your mind will do the rest and you'll be good to go. Another question I get a lot is how I avoid burnout. And I know I touched on it a little bit earlier, but the biggest and the most important thing is to take care of yourself, because you don't have to get to a point where you work so hard for a week that you need like another whole week off after that. That doesn't make sense, right? So it's good to be able to do a super hard grind 6 days a week, right? Maybe take a day off and then you're back at it again. Or basically you find that balance where you have to have some rest and recovery and some time for yourself. Absolutely. But you also can't have too much time where then it's counterproductive for the hard work you do. You might as well take it halfway each day, right? That doesn't make sense. And if you want to produce at a high level and not get burned out like myself, this is what's important. This is what I do. This is how I maintain that every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. So also when it comes to burnout, I can think of many times as well where, I had some friends doing something over here, or maybe had an event going on, and I said, well, I have A, B, and C to do, and you have to make that choice. Are you going to go or are you going to do that? And I think, you're going to stick to your work. So you have to make that choice. Are you going to stick to your work? You're going to go hang out and do that, or go be with your friends? And this is where I think it's really important that you make the critical decision, because sometimes you have to sacrifice, or sometimes if something that you really want to do, you have to reward yourself. And if you've earned it, you reward yourself and you do that thing. So that's an important thing to know. Don't skip everything, but also you can't go to everything, because when you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to the other. So finding that critical yes-no balance, learning how to make those decisions also helps with that burnout, because then if you had 3 hard days, you enjoy yourself one night, you feel much more ready the next day and stronger for the rest of that week until your next rest or activity day. Another common question that I get very often is, what do I do personally to stay in tune with the market, to stay sharp, and to make sure I'm best servicing my clients? So this is a great question, and something that I personally love to do is learn. I'm always looking to learn. I'm always watching the markets, the financial markets. You got to pay attention to the politics. You got to pay attention to your local economy and the world economy, well, country and global economy. I personally do it for myself and do it for my clients, in the sense of I always want to know what's the best move financially, what's going on that can potentially affect someone's investment, or what could be coming down the road to prepare for and prepare my clients for, and help them understand the potential risks, potential pros and cons of the market. Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball and, we can't predict the future, but there's usually a good amount of telltale signs or predictive things we can see that can help identify coming market trends or current market statuses. So the best way to be the most informative and the most knowledgeable for your clients is to do the research yourself, spend some time, and set aside, say, 30 minutes to an hour every week. So you stay sharp, and it doesn't add up on you, and you're able to figure out and you're able to provide and learn what's going on right now and what potentially could be coming, and then take it from there. And guys, it's as simple as Google, YouTube. You can read some books, find a few publications or people that you like, follow them and learn from them. Basically, it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. Figure out something that works for yourself and stick to it, stay with it, and be consistent. Thank you again for tuning in. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment, and reach out if you need anything.